Look at that. Probably not going to be able to see it. There's this sign right underneath where it says danger, life is worth living, and there's like a suicide hotline. That's kind of interesting. Have signage up. Like, I shouldn't say like that's going to stop anybody, but I mean maybe it does. I guess it's a good thing. It's just kind of trippy that it's there. Beautiful views though. If it wasn't so freaking smoky. This is pretty sick. A little bit. Update. I haven't fired you an update on work in a while because I didn't have anything to tell you. I was waiting on documents for a while. I finally got all of them like a week and a half ago, so I was able to start applying to places. And so I've been looking for places to apply to. In the past 2 days, I've spent probably like oh, I don't even know, like 12 straight hours just looking at every, I've looked at every public school division in Alberta, every public school division in Saskatchewan, every private school that is not affiliated with a faith in Alberta. I haven't looked at the private schools in Saskatchewan yet. That's the next step. In all the public schools in Alberta, there's one school that has positions for art, but it's also like a couple other things. There's like a couple art classes, And then photography is close enough. I could deal with that. And then one called like job options or something, like for grade 9 job something, which probably would be pretty easy to do. And that's like real far north and whatever. And then in Saskatchewan Public, there's 2 like art related ones. One, I honestly don't even, like my brain's just fried. One, I don't even remember where it is. I think it's also somewhere north, but anyway, it's somewhere out of the way is the point. And it's art and cosmetology, so I probably won't get it. I don't know why they always bundle those 2 together. Like I kind of do and I kind of don't. I have no cosmetology experience. That wasn't meant to be sarcasm. I don't have any formal training or certification or anything like that, and I don't really do anything other than my nails, so I don't have much informal experience either. But I don't know, I'm willing to learn. I put I put an application in regardless. Now there's one position that I'm semi-excited about that I only got to at the very end of the day. Like it was the very last school division that I looked at, and I actually already applied there. I applied to the division as a whole. They didn't have a specific job opening when I looked at it last week. Because I started applying last week as soon as I got all my documents back finally. I just went and started applying in Saskatchewan to the ones I knew. I applied to like 5 school divisions, and then like in Alberta, like another like 3 or 4 on top of the ones I already looked at. So anyway, because I was going through every single school division in Saskatchewan and Alberta the past couple of days, when I got to the ones I already applied at, I just looked at them again to see if they had updated any jobs, and one of them did, and it was in Rosetown. Now Rosetown is in Sun West School Division, which probably doesn't mean anything to any of you, but it is 1 hour away from Saskatoon. First of all, that's amazing because I could just live in Saskatoon. I could also live in Rosetown, that would be fine. But I could just live in Saskatoon and commute an hour a day. That is, or 2 hours a day. Still worth it. Like, I don't know if I'd rather live in Rosetown and just go to Saskatoon like every weekend, or if I'd rather live in Saskatoon and drive out to Rosetown every day, or 5 days a week, right? Kind of don't know. Doesn't matter. It's also 45 minutes away from the high school I went to. So I graduated from Outlook High School. It's like 45-minute drive. That does give me somewhat of an advantage a little bit, because that's something that they ask you. Even they ask you what high school you went to, and I'm like, okay, well, this is actually like a good thing for me for once. Like I can say, like, yeah, I know the area. Like I went to Rosetown for basketball all the time. Like, I mean, I know a little bit of the culture, not necessarily Rosetown specific, but I mean just like small town Saskatchewan, right? Rosetown has way more traffic going through it than Outlook did, but either way, they're very similar in the area, so that might give me a leg up too. It's an art position, grade 7 to 12, which is like, like that probably means there's not a lot of art students, right? If I'm gonna be teaching grade 7 to 12, I probably got like 7, 8, and 9s all together, maybe like, or maybe 9 and 10s together, and like 20s and 30s together. I don't know how it would work out, but most likely it's going to be a lot of combined classes and not a lot of grade 12s. It'll be like very few grade 11s too, probably, but that's okay. Out of all the ones I looked at, that's the one that I'm like, wow, number one, it's the one I'm most interested in out of the ones I've seen, and 2, I might actually have a shot at it. There's only one huge sucky thing about it: it's temporary. So it's just a 1-year contract, it's temporary. I don't know what the circumstances are yet. I don't know if it's a health leave, if it's a mat leave. I don't know why it's temporary, but maybe I'll find out. Maybe I'll get a crack at it. The other cool thing, I'm gonna put up a profile on there. I put up my resume and all this stuff, and you can click the regions that you are interested in. I was like, screw it. I'll click UK. I'll click Australia. Like, I'll go to a couple places, and I did that yesterday. And today, I got an email from the UK thing, and I'm just like, oh, there's just some auto response, whatever. I didn't even look at the email yet. A couple hours later, I got a phone call, and it was a recruiter, and she was like, hey, I noticed that you applied, that you're open to it on applied education, and we actually have an art position at a school that needs to be filled. And I was like, yo, that's sick. But number one, okay, I don't want to move. I don't even want to move away from Lethbridge. But if I have to move away from Lethbridge, I'm kind of like, screw it. I'll move anywhere right now. Not anywhere, but I mean, like, I'll move to the UK, I'll move to BC, I'll move to Saskatchewan, somewhere else in Alberta, I'll go to Australia. I don't have an amazing desire, like, I don't want to move from Lethbridge, period. I just don't. I want to stay here. But if I have to move, nothing's tying me here, like, super concrete. I just feel like it's a good time for me to just be like, whatever, I'll just do it, I'll just do whatever, and I'll just live my life, and I don't know, be a loner, I don't know. It seems like a good time for some reason. I'm not scared that much of moving to a new place right now. I just don't want it to be temporary. So that's the thing that sucks about Rosetown, is like, well, the next move, I want it to be a little more permanent. I don't want to keep moving and moving and moving and moving. Move for 1 year, move for 2 years, and just peace out. So that sucks. But anyway, the UK thing, I am open to it. The sucky thing is that the recruiter was like, okay, well, there's like 3 ways to get visas. And basically, I am too old and too brown to get a visa. So, they told me that one easy way, like the best option, is like, oh, you know what, like the best thing that a lot of people do, if you are, I don't remember what the first stipulation was, but it was like, if you're Canadian, that's what it was, if you're Canadian, which you already knew I was, and she's Canadian as well, if you're Canadian and 31 or under, then you can you can get this visa like easy. And I was like, oh, okay, well that sucks because I'm too old. I just turned 33 a week ago. So that's out the door. She's like, okay, that's fine. Well, there's like this next one, and it's like, if you have a parent or a grandparent that is like from the UK or the EU, then you're golden. I was like, well, nope, that doesn't apply to me. So then the third option kind of was out the door because I want to teach art. And she said, like, there's an art position, that's why she got a hold of me. There's a bunch of English ones too, but whatever. Anyway, the thing is that the third option is that a school would sponsor my visa, because they do that sometimes, but they don't do it for art teachers. They do it a lot for science and math teachers, because they need science and math a lot. And they do it sometimes for English, but again, not a lot. And yeah, for art, they pretty much never ever do it. She said there's no point in even bothering. So that kind of closes that door. But I mean, truth be told, I don't really want to just peace out and move to the UK or Australia. There is something exciting about it. And if that opportunity came to me and it was like, I don't want to say like if it was quick and easy, but I mean like if the opportunity came and it wasn't like crazy stressful and I had like, I don't know, I'm not pushing for it. It's not my preference. If I'm going to fight for anything, I'm going to fight to stay where I am, or just somewhere in Alberta or Saskatchewan or BC that's like a really great job. I don't want to move just temporarily. Like I said, I want to be in a more permanent place. So even if I was going to go to Australia, I'd be like, okay, I'm moving everything. I'm not going there for a year and coming back. I want to just go there and just, okay, chill. I live in Australia now. That's what I do. I'm not saying that I'll never move again, or after this move I won't move. I just don't want to move for a while. I just want to chill for a bit. So that's an update on that. You know, like it's the first week of June. Like there's been a lot of update last week of May and first week of June. There's been tons of jobs that have been like posting and stuff. Just very, very rarely an art job. And like at first it was kind of like, that makes sense. Like, yeah, like it sucks, but there's thousands of whatever. Like I've looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of job postings, but I mean like it kind of makes sense. There's usually like one art teacher per school, and because that position is so like not special, but I mean like there's very few of them. Unlike English teachers, there's tons of. It's easier to get an English job also because it's a core subject, whereas art is not. So there's less people taking it, there's less need for it, less demand. So people tend to hold on to those jobs longer than maybe they normally would if they felt like they could move around and get a job somewhere else, but it's really difficult. So however, it's the same thing with music teachers. Like music teachers, there's usually only one of those per school as well. So they're usually really difficult jobs to get. And I saw maybe 15 between Alberta and Saskatchewan, most of them in Alberta. I saw like 15 positions for music teachers. And I was like, oh cool, why not art? Anyway, that's update. Peace. Picked up some pina colada butt lotion. Couldn't get through it. This is a good problem to have, I guess. I've, you know, been riding enough and killing my climbs a bit that I'm getting saddle sores on my bike, which are not fun at all. It's really painful. So yeah, just the frequency I've been riding, maybe the heat as well, but also definitely like on my climbs, more friction and stuff. It's been not fun. So picked up some chamois, some chamois butt original, Lakers colors, of course. Why did I say of course? Nothing to do with this. Anyway, yeah, biking's been tight, super tight. I've been really enjoying it and just been slaying goals left and right. Yeah, it's cool. It's been a good time. Thought I would share that with you. Run, little deer. I have your souls now. Oh yeah. Just to cap off the vlog here, I've had some teaching updates and stuff that I've shared a little bit of, but most recently I found out so there's some stuff on the British Columbia Ministry of Education, what is it, the Registrar's Office, I don't remember what it's called now. On their website they have all these requirements that need to be met in order to successfully apply to get a BC teaching certificate. A lot of money. I've spent a little over $300 in the application process. The application itself was like $245, and then there's other things like you need to get your transcript sent. You need to get a certificate of good standing from any place you hold a valid teaching certificate. Well, for me, that's Saskatchewan and Alberta, so I had to pay for those. A bunch of stuff. Anyway, they also needed like a notarized birth certificate, but there were some sections where I was like, well, it doesn't say if you want this sent by email, if you want it sent as a physical copy or whatever, because some stuff they were very specific about, like it has to be a physical copy. There's no emailing, no faxing, nothing that will substitute that. So I called about this birth certificate thing, and when I called, I got some clarification that I wasn't expecting, because I was like, oh, where do I get this thing, or where do I have to send this? And they said, oh, actually, you don't need to notarize it anymore. And I was like, oh, you don't? It says that on the website. And they're like, oh, yeah, we know. And I'm like, okay, so I guess that's not updated. And then I said, like, is there anything else on the website that is not up to date that I may need to know? Because, I mean, I would have had to spend money getting this thing notarized, right? And they're like, oh, well, you know how it says that you'll get, like, it's like 2 to 6 weeks for the applications to process? Well, it's more like 3 to 7 months. And so that made my heart sink a bit, because there's no way, like, even if it was the very short end of that, which it's most likely not going to be, like, that's a 4-month gap, too. It's like 3 to 7 months. That's how long it could take to process this application. First of all, I don't even have everything in yet, because I'm relying on other people to do some things for me to get them information. But once everything is in, even if it was in right now, 3 months, like, school starts in 3 months. And the thing is that I'm just applying to get a certificate. Once I get a certificate, then I can start applying to jobs. I don't have a certificate to teach there. So that's cool. Looks like I won't be teaching in BC anytime soon. I don't have anything else that's I don't know. It's been really slow going trying to find work. I only had like one good opportunity that I found. That was art related, and it was actually like my location right now doesn't matter. I'm just like, I'll go wherever, but this one was actually really close to Saskatoon, which would have been nice. I keep saying would have been, like they took after, like, the day after I applied, they took the posting down. And I never got, like, a call or anything about, like, reference, or, like, I mean, I never got a call to, like, get interviewed or anything, so I'm like, I don't know. Maybe they're just collecting applications now, they've got enough, and they're going to pick from there and go through them, and they just, like, ended the posting. But, I don't know. Anyway, I keep looking and looking and looking and looking, and, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't feel too hopeful, but I also don't feel completely wrecked right now either. I'll be okay. But still a little disheartening, a little frustrating, but that's where I'm at with that.